What will it take for Joann Fabrics to launch a successful comeback after filing for bankruptcy? That is the topic we will be focusing on in this episode of Sewing Report Live. Welcome. If this is your first time here, I am Jen with the Sewing Report. Every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we delve into what is going on in the world of sewing and crafts. We talk about industry stuff. We have fun, we chat. This is an interactive show, so you are welcome to leave a chat if you're watching live or a comment if you are watching on the replay. We do have a few quick, just general guidelines. I just ask that if you do leave comments, that they are polite, respectful to myself and to everyone here. You stick to the topic, no self-promotion, no links, and no politics. All right, so we got a lot to talk about, guys. We have a lot to talk about. I hope everyone's having a great weekend so far. Hello, Denise. Welcome. And of course, we have to give a shout out, as usual, to tonight's live stream sponsor, the Sewing Report Etsy shop. Yes, this is my own Etsy shop where I sell fabric, sewing supplies, and some handmade items. We are currently running a sale on fabric bundles, and I did just get some fresh inventory in, so I am well stocked on some very popular sewing notions. The marking pens, pencils, always very popular. We stock sew tights. I've got some different types of needles, different types of scissors, thread, so a little bit of everything. And if you have any suggestions for things you would like to see in the Etsy shop, I'm always open to requests. If there's something where you're like, hey Jen, I would love to see you stock this, definitely let me know, because I'm always looking for ideas. This is a curated shop. This is just stuff I like myself. In fact, a lot of these stuff in the Etsy shop are just items that I personally owned already, and I featured a lot in videos, so I decided to try selling them. So a lot of these things are my own personal favorites, and they are handpicked by me. I do all the shipping, fulfillment, all the customer service. I greatly appreciate everyone that's shopped with me here on Etsy. So yes, I am the sponsor of my own Etsy shop. So yes, this is a very independent show here. So a lot going on, and I have just started noticing that, I don't know about you guys, but I've been kind of monitoring what's been going on with Joann's coverage just in the media, and I just was noticing a trend in the past week or so that all of a sudden the spin for a lot of these articles is just very positive and upbeat. So I wanted to talk about that and also get your opinions on what you think it will take for Joann's to have a successful comeback after bankruptcy. All right, so I want to bring up a few different articles here. So this first one here, and yeah, let me know what you think. Like, what do you think Joann's needs to do in order to really come back strong out of the gate? Maybe clean up the finances. What would you like to see happen in the stores? So I found this article. I have a few articles. So this one is, and these are all, by the way, linked in the description box if you want to check them out on your own. I do have some show notes with all of the links of things that I feature. This is from bizjournals.com. Not really familiar with this one, but I just have noticed a trend with the headlines of these articles that they are just like, I don't know, it's almost like press release journalism. It's like they got a press release from Joann's talking about how great everything's going to be, and they just kind of ran with it. So I don't know what's going on, but this says, Joann Inc. exits bankruptcy with the strongest financial foundation in many years. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay, so this is actually picked up from the Cleveland Business Journal. So it says, Joann Inc., the parent of hundreds of Joann fabrics and craft stores nationwide, emerged from bankruptcy court on Tuesday in its best financial shape in recent decades. Well, I guess that will do it if you can get rid of half of your debt. So Joann's owed about $1.2 billion, and the bankruptcy proceedings basically wiped out about half of all of the debt. So hey, if you can do it, you can do it, right? The Hudson-based Ohio retailer of fabrics and craft items halved its long-term debt of $1.1 billion and fully repaid its obligations to employees, vendors, landlords, and other trade creditors during a month and a half in bankruptcy court without reducing its retail footprint or employee headcount. Joann emerges from bankruptcy with $153 million in new financing, the company said Tuesday. So this is straight from the press release. So they're basically just parroting what Joann told them. Now, do you think Joann is a reliable narrator in this situation? They're literally just taking everything Joann told them in the press release and they're just sort of spouting this out. Joann Inc. also emerged from its so-called prepackaged bankruptcy proceeding, meaning a majority of the company's lenders and creditors agreed to its plan of reorganization prior to the bankruptcy filing as a private company. All of Joann's 42.2 million outstanding common shares have been canceled, so Joann is no longer a publicly traded stock, and the company goes forward owned by certain of the company's financial stakeholders and industry parties, Joann Inc. has said. All right, so there is the statement from Chris DiTullio, Joann's chief customer officer and currently co-lead of the interim office of the CEO. Joann does not currently have a permanent CEO. All right, it was the company's $1.1 billion in long-term debt, most of it taken on to pay shareholders in the company's first 2011 going private transaction, combined with rising interest rates and post-COVID supply chain disruptions and retail sales drop that caused the company's mid-March bankruptcy filing. Yeah, Joann, which was founded in Cleveland in 1943 by German immigrants Hilda and Bertold Reich and Matilda and Sigmund Rohrbach, and went public in 1969, was acquired for $1.6 billion in cash by private equity firm Leonard Green and Partners of Los Angeles in 2011. By March 2021, Joann Inc. had substantially paid down its debt, refreshed some of its stores with new branding, displays, and merchandise, and significantly beefed up the online presence at Joann.com, its e-commerce website, before going public again. So, what do you think about this article? I don't know, it just seems to me like it's literally just press release journalism. They didn't really do any investigative work. There's really no news gathering involved other than them just kind of reworking what was in the Joann press release issued by Joann's. And I saw the same thing in this other article from, it's from MSN. I think this is actually from Fox 11. So it says, Joann Fabrics and Crafts makes a bold comeback after filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Because, yeah, everyone's doing really awesome after they just filed for bankruptcy. That's a really good sign. I just find this kind of, just ridiculous. In a striking turnaround from recent financial woes, Joann, one of America's leading fabric and craft retailers, has successfully navigated its way out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy, securing a future for its expansive network of over 800 stores across the nation. This includes maintaining all 11 locations in New Jersey, signaling a significant commitment to its loyal customer base in the Garden State. Wow. Yeah, same thing. Notice it, this article is very similar to the last article, and it just seems to have the same, stuff from the press release. I don't know. And then there's this other article. This one was they did a little bit more introspection here. This is from Retail Wire here, and it says, how should Joann capitalize on its second chance? And I think that's a good question. What does Joann need to do differently? Obviously, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy doesn't mean the company's doing awesome. Let's be real. So this says, earlier this year, Joann, the 81-year-old fabric and craft retailer from Ohio, filed for bankruptcy due to a significant decline in customer spending, as reported by CNN. So at least they're being realistic that, the company is not doing that great because people aren't spending that much money. Despite securing $132 million in new funding to reduce its $1 billion debt, Joann assured customers that its stores and online platform would continue as usual. Okay, that's straight from the Joann press release. The bankruptcy process, which involves transitioning to private ownership, aims to streamline operations and reduce debt levels. According to Neil Saunders, managing director of Global Data, the bankruptcy of Joann has been looming for a long time, and it was always a matter of when rather than if. He noted that the retailer's customers were increasingly opting for lower-priced rivals like Hobby Lobby due to weakening store standards and declining customer service levels, partly because of staffing cuts. Previously discussed on Retail Wire was the notion of bankruptcy being the end of Joann. This also revealed a growing discontent on social media about the frustrations of the retailer's customers. These customers expressed dissatisfaction with the quality of Joann's products and store locations. Now in a swift move, Joann is on the verge of exiting bankruptcy proceedings. Expectations are high for Joann to conclude its financial restructuring and step out of the court supervision in the coming days. The arts and craft retailer announced that its prepackaged joint plan of reorganization has been confirmed by the U.S. Bankruptcy Court. Expectations are set for the company to emerge from bankruptcy with significantly reduced debt, marking its lowest level in over 10 years. Okay, so this is kind of the same information here. Creditors, yeah, of course, creditors want to get any money they can rather than nothing. All right, and again, you see this same quote from Chris DiTullio. This is also straight from the press release. And I'll actually bring up that press release just so you can see. Okay, apparently the website can't be reached. Okay, so Joann has this website called like Joann Forward, where they've been kind of updating everyone about the bankruptcy. All right, and apparently it's down, so I can't even check that out right now. Okay, oh, here we go. Here is the press release. And I want to bring this up just so you can see that a lot of this, like a lot of the reporting done by legacy media outlets about Joann is just coming straight off the press release. It's nothing, they're really not doing a lot of legwork here on this story. So because Joann enters new era of creativity poised to serve the sewing, craft, and DIY industry with lowest levels of debt in more than a decade. And you can see it's the same stuff. They have the numbers with how much they got in financing, no store closures, no layoffs. It's got the quote from Chris DiTullio and Scott Sekala. So you can see how, and this happens a lot in media, is that, sometimes reporters there's some lazy journalism happening for sure in the media. And sometimes there's something called basically press release stories, where you just take the press release, you rework it, and then you release that as an article or a TV piece. And there's really not a lot of, they clearly didn't put a lot of work into these pieces. It's literally just straight off the press release. But yeah, that's definitely what's going on. And then I did see this other press release put out by Latham and Watkins. They are some company that's helping Joann in the bankruptcy process. So they also put out a press release about their role in the whole thing. So that's the latest on Joann. But I just thought it was kind of strange that all of the press this week seems to have a very positive spin. And it seems to coincide with Joann's own press release about how awesome things are. So yeah, kind of interesting. The other thing I noticed that Joann's had done, and I want to show you this because it's a little bit comical, but Joann is actually getting trolled on their own Instagram. So let's check that out because I just thought it was kind of a little bit funny. So Joann posted this on Instagram a couple days ago, and it's building on 80 years of rich history, today we enter a new era of creativity, and we are so excited about the future. So they want to kind of tap into this nostalgia. So they got the old photo of the old-timey photos of the shop. Here's their old marketing. From the olden days before they had to file for bankruptcy, and all of the value had been extracted by a private equity group, So they kind of Joann throughout the years here. And here's the current logo. But I just noticed the comments are hilarious. Everyone's kind of making suggestions. Look at this. Didn't you just file for bankruptcy? And notice the replies. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. And then Joann actually wrote back, I love this. Hi, we are out of bankruptcy and can't wait to continue serving you. Well, okay, you know. This person wants less discounting mentality. So a lot of people are really kind of going off on Joann and the state of the stores and the inventory in the comments here. Please, not so much fleece and flannel. It takes up well over half of my store's inventory all year. Only a tiny selection of overpriced apparel fabric. Less home decor, more materials and supplies. A better reward system that can be used online too. Pretty please. Go back to the original mission. Fabric store. Doing so would make you the only physical fabric store in some places. Let Michaels and Hobby Lobby handle crafts and home goods. Focus on better apparel fabric to support your great pattern sales. I just think this is like kind of funny, but I love Joann's response. We are now out of bankruptcy and can't wait to serve you. All right, pay your workers the living wage for their area. None of them are paid enough to be well informed, and then customers are frustrated that the staff don't know what they're talking about. So, I mean, these comments just go on and on. You know what? I will say, though, credit to Joann for not deleting the comments, because a lot of brands and accounts will delete the negative comments. So I do give them credit for actually leaving these up and responding to some of them. So I'm like, okay, go back to the second logo. I mean, I do kind of like seeing Joann throughout the years. I remember Joann's from like the 90s, you know, back in the day. But I just thought it was funny that everyone's like really dumping on Joann in the replies here. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I take this to mean that there is a future for Joann that only works if you make some changes. That's actually a good comment. It's obvious that what we, your customers, want and need. Hint, it isn't flannel or fleece or home decor. Shout out to this giraffe heart. I agree with this. And not one of them has an S after Joann. So I thought that was funny. Like, all of these people are like, you guys need to change. So, yeah, been a bit of a week for Joann, for sure. But that's the latest media coverage for Joann. All right, let's get to some of your comments here, and then we will get on to another topic here. Lots of comments here. All right. Went to a Joann's yesterday. Still had to buy 3, get 2 free still on Notions. Thread's still out. This has been over a month. Wow. Hello, Lisa. Welcome, Lisa. Clean the store. The Joann's near me is filthy. Okay, that's not good. Yeah, you guys are still reporting that. A lot of your stores are not doing great here. Wow. I went to a local quilt shop today and I saw Best Press for $14.95 for a 33-ounce bottle. And Joann has 16.9-ounce bottles for $10.99. I have noticed Joann is way overpriced. And that's the thing, like, it's like the regular price at Joann's are ridiculous, but then if you add a coupon, it's like kind of more of a normal price. But the sales and discounts are just a little bit overwhelming, I think. Although it might be fair to give Joann's a little time to plan and implement changes, but I'm concerned. Yeah, I think we're all a little bit concerned. Were those articles just written by AI? It's very possible, Denise. It is very possible that those were written by AI. All right, hello, Stephanie. Moved over here from Rumble, at least for today. Thank you. All right, was that by Joann this week? The store was in better shape. Most boxes out of the aisles this time. It looked like they spread merchandise out to fill shelves in some departments. And I'm kind of wondering, I feel like the people at Joann's have probably seen some of these live streams. I mean, they probably have had to have had some exposure, so I'm wondering what they think of our coverage here. All right, weakening store standards and declining customer service levels, partly because of staffing cuts, is the crux of the issue for their brick and mortar presence. Yeah, that would be... Yeah, and the last time I was there, again, they were very nice. The employees were super cool, but it was very obvious that they didn't really have enough store hours to get everything done because there was inventory like all over the place. And that only happens because, you know, the employees aren't getting enough hours to be able to accomplish all of those things. We have to wait to see what will happen with Joann's. Joann's has to stop selling things that do not sell. That's a good point, Vanessa. They also need to lower the price per yard of their fabric. Those are some very good points there. All right, stores are not organized well, and items are poorly merchandised. Fabrics are poor quality, too much craft stuff. They need to hire some great stylists. And that's the thing. For what I hear Joann's is paying, like, are they going to get anybody that has those types of skills? Like, it seems like they're really not keeping up with the, like, wage market. And they do need to make some changes. Joann's needs to start listening to their employees and customers. Joann's must give their customers what the customers want. Yep, otherwise they're not going to get anyone shopping there. Was in there for some faux leather. Wow, it was $34.99 per yard. Oh my gosh. Of course, I know that's a pricing game and would never pay that much, but even at 50% off, that is a ripoff. You could probably get real leather for less than that. Like, if you went over to Tandy Leather and caught a sale, I bet it would be significantly less than that. That's pretty insane. All right, is that wall of yarn cubbies a real thing in some of the stores? Like on the Instagram picture, it looks pretty, but half the yarn is out of anyone's reasonable reach. Rachel, at my local Joann's, they actually did have that, and it looked okay. Like, it wasn't, whacked out, and it actually had all the yarn. So yeah, my local store actually does have the yarn cubby wall, and it actually looks pretty okay. Those Joann's site comments are so spot. I know, right? Now I just love the Joann's reply. We are out of bankruptcy and ready to serve you. I'm like, okay. Hello, Jamie. Welcome. Welcome, Jamie. I recently went to my Joann's, and it was honestly the most stocked and clean that it's been in a long time. That's good to hear. I was surprised to see that with the current state of Joann's. So, Jamie, you might have the only... Are there any other peeps out there with a Joann's store that has it together like that? That's a good sign. Maybe that is a sign of things to come, hopefully, because that's the thing. They're not going to get more people shopping there if the stores are a mess and they don't have, inventory. It's going to be tough. Like, let's be real. They're not going to attract a lot of foot traffic if the stores don't look appealing and they don't have items that customers actually want. So Joann's, if you are watching this, please take some of these suggestions. Use them. Use us as a free focus group. We just want the stores to actually be better. We don't want the stores to be a mess. And yeah, you gotta, calm down with the novelty fleece and the flannel. Like, bring in some nice, reasonably priced apparel fabric. Have some nice, and that's the thing. I do think when I was there last time, the Joann's was lacking some of the nice quality notions. I know they're all going towards like the generic store brands, and I get it. There's probably a higher profit margin, but a lot of people want like the tried and true sewing brands that they rely on. Nice quality quilting cotton, nice quality apparel fabric, and notions, like I love my Ginger scissors. Bring back some like nice, good, stock Creative Grizz rulers. Like, those are the best. Like, bring in some nicer stuff, because people don't really want to buy cheap crap. Like, they just don't, especially not the serious sewist. I do not want to buy, cheap things, or low quality things. I want nice quality at like a price that doesn't, give me a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's been crazy. All right, there's a store in my area that is remodeled, bright and clean classroom area, and carries Liberty fabrics. It's very nice. In the Fair Oaks area of Sacramento. Okay, so if you're in the Fair Oaks area of Sacramento, I guess that's the Joann's to go to. Like, that sounds really nice. I'm curious what percentage of these stocked toys, kids' games, kits, puzzles sell. Denise, when I was at Joann's last, like, that stuff was all, like, on clearance. Like, they don't, doesn't seem to be selling that great. Like, and it was also kind of in the back of the store, so it wasn't like up near the front. And there was just mountains and mountains of like kids' toys and stuff. And that's the thing, I don't really get the toys. I get like the kids' crafts and like kits to make things. But just selling random toys at a Joann's, like, if parents are going for toys and games, they're probably going to Target or Walmart. I would not be specifically looking at Joann's for that type of item. Like, maybe it's just me. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I live in the Poconos Mountains of PA. I love the flannel and high quality Eddie Bauer. Look, now Leslie, I understand. And I do see a need for some fleece and flannel. I think what a lot of us are just really wondering about is why so much. And like, I live in Florida. The need for fleece and flannel is just not there. So I do think it really is dependent on the geographic area. Like, again, if you're in Pennsylvania or like Colorado, New York State, or somewhere that gets cold a lot, I can totally understand why they would need a lot of cuddly, warm fabrics. But in certain areas, like, I do think they need to cater the inventory to the area as well. Because, again, I really don't need to buy fleece hardly ever, or flannel really, because that's, I just don't need to. Like, I don't even need a winter coat here anymore, because it's just, it really doesn't call for it. The Joann's in Hudson, New York is clean. Okay, that's good. That's good. When I went to buy shoulder pads, they did not have any. Vanessa, you might want to check out Wawak, WAWAK Sewing. They do have a lot of those types of items, and they're very reasonably priced. So if you are looking for like shoulder pads or like bra pads for like swimsuits or like certain types of dresses, I did notice Wawak has a lot of that type of thing, and they're very, very, budget friendly. So I would definitely recommend check out Wawak. When was the last time you went into a fabric store and saw a sample sewn from a pattern that the store sold? I think I've seen a few at Joann's, like not a ton, but I think I have seen some. The Eddie Bauer trail knit fabric is really nice performance fabric. Just wish they had it in more colors and a better price. Yep. All right, the Joann store here where I live in Northeast Ohio is clean when I go in. Sometimes when I go in early, they have boxes of yarn in the yarn section, but the workers are putting the yarn up though. Okay, that's also a good sign. So maybe Joann's is starting to get the message that the store's looking so chaotic is a real turnoff to people. Maybe they're thinking that. I don't know. Yeah, Wawak, great for standard notions, thread and zippers. And they do have some they have some nicer brand stuff. Like I think I purchased like Aurifil thread from them, or like Gutermann thread. So they have some nice stuff. They do have a shipping threshold, but they are it's not, super crazy. It's like $79 or something like that. But they have some nice items, and I find their prices are really very reasonable as well. All right, my Elk Grove store has some Liberty cotton lawn too. Okay, that's awesome. It's pricey. Ooh, $30-ish per yard. Okay, ooh. Okay, yeah, that is a little bit expensive. No sewn samples at my store. Haven't seen one for a long time. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of that when I go to like a local quilt shop. I've seen some samples. I have seen some. My local Joann has a bell to ring at the register to call an associate to check you out. No associates stay at the register. I guess that does. I guess if you're not at like a super, like if they're not super busy, I guess that sort of makes sense. I don't know. The bell thing seems very like kind of old school, like from the 80s or 90s or something. That is kind of interesting. That is pretty interesting. I'm going to get some water real quick. So I want to ask you, as people who sew and customers, what do you think should be Joann's top priority for this bold comeback? Like, what do you think, like if you were in charge of Joann, let's say you were the Joann CEO, what would be the first few things you do to get the stores back on track? Like, what would you do? Just curious. Let me know in the comments. And maybe the Joann's people will be watching and maybe take some of our suggestions. I don't know. All right, you get a message that an associate is on the way when you ring the bell like a doorbell. Okay, actually, bad. Like, I guess if that actually kind of helps them be more efficient, I guess why not? Liberty is about always that price no matter where you shop, but it's a nice idea to have some in a physical store where you can actually get a small cut. Yeah, I need to go back to Joann's and I need to check out Michael's, because we're going to talk about Michael's a little bit later, because Michael's is doing some stuff. So I'm really curious about Michael's. All right, top priority, make the fabric section a place someone who actually sews wants to shop. Good selection, natural fibers, good prices. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they need to, and also I do think Joann, I think the sewing industry as a whole needs to do things to appeal more to younger customers and to attract new sewists, particularly younger ones, because that's the future of the industry. If they can't get younger people to sew, there's really not going to be much of a sewing industry in 10, 20, 30 years. So I think that's really important, and that's one of the reasons why I do a sewing YouTube channel, is because I genuinely want to try to help and do what I can to provide free online resources for people who are interested in getting into sewing, embroidery, any sort of crafty stuff, because I do think that is really important. And like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they really look online for things, and I wanted to be a resource for that type of a demographic, in hopes to help them get interested in sewing, or at least help them to be able to nurture that interest should they want to do sewing as a hobby or as a professional. So I think that's something you can do, is, try to help people who have an interest in sewing. All right, Miss JS says, more fabric and less crafts, also some better fabrics of natural fibers. I think the natural fibers is really a good thing to bring up, because when I was there, they had a lot of like polyester fabrics, kind of like more lower end type, knit fabrics, and not like really high quality fabrics. So I do think that is lacking. First, staff correctly, and next, clean and reorganize stores where inventory is not all over the place. Yeah. All right. Joann needs to focus on selling fabric. They need to get rid of the holiday decorations, toys, etc. All right. Bring in quality fabric. Have well-stocked notions. Recharge their ribbon inventory. All right. We got somebody from Twitch asking for a friend. Hello. All right. I think we probably have like one Twitch viewer. Oh, all right. Yeah, we have one Twitch viewer. So, hey, shout out to Twitch. We do multi-stream here. So, we are multi-streaming on various platforms, so yes, I do see the chat. I am monitoring all of the chats, so if you do comment, I will be able to see it. Start with less home decor and move the yarn and fabrics to the front of the store. Yeah, I think they could really dial down on some of the seasonal decor. I know some people say it sells, but they have like so much of it. I don't know if I think a lot of it sells. It's always on clearance, and you always see so much of it. I just think the seasonal home decor stuff could definitely be pared down a bit with, just because, like, I honestly really don't know who needs that much seasonal decor. I don't know. That could maybe a hot take there. I worked at Joann's in the 90s, and we would sell out of the fabric and patterns for those demo items. They need to bring it back. That's how you inspire people. That's a good point, Sandy. Joann does have a YouTube channel, but looks like nothing posted since December. I mean, I'm not super surprised. I agree with Lisa. Actual sewing and yarn needlework items need to be in the front. Yeah, and I also think, like, yeah, they really could do a lot more to do, like, inspo type stuff. Like, give people ideas. Like, again, quilt shops do that with all of the samples, and they sell kits. I just think there's a lot more they could do to try to, like, to try to spark that inspiration and give people project ideas. I think that's a good, yeah, I think those are some good thoughts here. Yeah, promote sewing classes. That's another thing they could do. I wish Joann's would concentrate on sewing garment fabrics and display them at eye-level shelves instead of those high slanted shelves. Bring back wool and lovely summer dress fabric. Yeah, so it seems like the general consensus here is that Joann's needs to focus more on quality apparel fabrics. A lot of you are saying that, and less home decor, and then put the fabric and the yarn and stuff in a more prominent spot. So yeah, I think those are all really good thoughts, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting that they're all, like, all of these articles are like, Joann's is better than ever. They're in a great financial position. Everything's cool. And then Joann's gets trolled on their own Instagram account. So I'm like, okay, here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how everyone's week and weekend is going here. Yeah, I don't know. It's been, I want to kind of share a few things that happened this week. All right, so I got my water here, so I know this is not a Stanley cup. This is a reduced like tumbler I got years ago, I think from Walmart. Man, so I don't know if this is TMI, but like on Thursday, I think I got some sort of food poisoning from this packaged lunch meat I bought. Man, I was like on a whole other, I was in like a whole other hemisphere for this whole thing. Like I do eat some sandwiches, and I'll order like, I get Kroger grocery delivery. And I'll get things like sliced cheese, lunch meat, and bread to make some sandwiches, that type of thing. So I ordered this, it was on sale. I ordered this like prepackaged honey smoked turkey. You know, that's one of my favorites, like honey turkey. And I made a sandwich on Wednesday. And I just want to be clear. The package had not been opened for very long. So I opened the package. I think I opened the meat on Wednesday. So it's not like the meat had been open for a long time and it was like, you know, it was me. I opened this package of meat on Wednesday to make a sandwich, and I looked at the expiration date on the lunch meat, and it said it expired on June 28th, so I still have quite a bit of time. So I made a sandwich on Wednesday, and I started feeling like a little bit funky, not terrible, but I did have a lot of digestive issues, kind of overnight. So then Thursday, I only eat like kind of one meal a day, and then I'll snack a little bit. So that's my usual thing. So I was thinking about making something else, but then I was like, I'll just make another sandwich. I got the lunch, I was like, I have this package of lunch meat open, so I should try to get through some of it. So I made another sandwich on Thursday, and I started feeling like kind of, I don't know if you know, like when your stomach just starts feeling kind of like funky. So I started feeling a little strange. And then I also had a banana. So I was like, okay, I have a sandwich, have a banana. And then a couple of hours after I had the sandwich, I felt so sick. My stomach was just, I have not felt like that in years. And I've only had food poisoning maybe like 2 or 3 times in my whole life. The last time being maybe, I don't know, like 20 years ago. Like I very rarely have gotten food poisoning of any type. And my stomach felt so gnarly. I just had to lay in bed. And I had other things I had to do. Like I had an Etsy order I had to pack. And then I had to do the nightly routine with the rabbit of like cleaning out her litter box and stuff. And I just had to I just couldn't really do anything. It was really strange. And I just had to lay in bed, and I was like kind of sweating. Like I was getting I felt kind of feverish, and my stomach just felt so gnarly and like upset and like nauseous. Like, I can't even describe it. It was really bad. And I was like, and it came on pretty suddenly. So, I don't know why I'm telling this story. But, like, yeah, it was very weird. It was a very weird experience. And I was just laying in bed. Like, and I really couldn't do anything. I couldn't focus on anything for hours. So I did that for like several hours, but I still had things I had to do. Plus I was taping someone with somebody else, which I'll talk about later tomorrow, the next day, Friday. So I was like, I don't know if I should try to like contact this person and reschedule. Like, I don't even, because I didn't know if I was going to feel better or if I was going to like get worse. I had no idea. So I laid in bed for just several hours, just like with my eyes closed and doing really like nothing. And I just, like, my stomach just felt so I felt horrible. So later in the night, I got up and I would try to get up for short periods of time, and then I would just have to go back to bed. Like, I couldn't really like do a lot. I couldn't really do a lot like for prolonged periods of time. So finally, later that night, I was able to get out of bed, and I decided to get some soda. I thought maybe that would help calm my stomach. And then I had some digestive issues. After that, I did feel like slightly better. So I was able to like do what I had to get done, like pack the Etsy order, and then, do the rabbit stuff. And then I went to bed. I felt much better the next day. So I was really glad that it was like a fairly quick, whatever that was. And I also wanted to go out to warn my husband, because sometimes he'll, like, if he sees lunch meat in the fridge, he'll grab a couple slices and just eat it. So I didn't want him to also eat this turkey. So he didn't know I was feeling bad because he was like gaming and stuff. So I heard him out in the kitchen, and he's probably like, what is up with her? So I kind of made it out to the kitchen. I was like, don't eat the lunch meat. I was like, don't eat the lunch meat. He's like, what? So I told him I thought I got food poisoning. He's like, okay. Because he will just sort of rummage through the fridge and eat whatever. And I didn't want him to also get food poisoning too, because he had to work the next day. And it was like it was just the gnarliest experience ever. Like, I just felt so sick. But the next day was actually like mostly back to normal. And today I feel fine. So I guess I don't know what to take away from this. Like, the lunch meat was not expired, and I just opened the package the day before. So I don't know what went wrong with this lunch meat or what was up with it, but I'm gonna throw tonight's garbage night, so I'm gonna throw it out. I kept it in the fridge just so it wasn't sitting in the trash for several days, getting in the heat and stuff. But tonight I'm gonna throw out the lunch meat. It's going in the trash. And I did get another delivery yesterday, and I ordered different lunch meat, and I actually did have a sandwich today, but with the other lunch meat. And I have not gotten sick yet, so hopefully everything's cool. I don't know why I just told you that story. But yeah, I don't know. So Thursday was pretty wild. Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing. Like, I just opened the package like the day before. So like, I don't know if it was like bad before that. I don't know. It was very weird. It was really, yeah, it was really bad. Like, I don't know. 99-cent patterns. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So sorry. Glad you're through it. Hard to do it. Yeah. Like, I just was like I was just kind of down for the count. I couldn't do anything the whole night, like for most of the night. It was just totally gnarly. Like, my stomach, yeah, it was not great. All right, my Joann is clean, organized. I keep going there to see if there's anything I want to buy. Unfortunately, I leave empty-handed every time. This is for the last 3 to 4 years. So Stacy, is it because there's not anything there you're interested in? Like, just with the store selection? Is that what it is? It kind of sounds like that. Okay, so I have something exciting to tell you about. You may have noticed I uploaded a video on this Sewing Report Live channel earlier today, and I'm super psyched about it. So when I did the show a few weeks ago about influencer marketing, one person left a comment, and it was fellow YouTuber Lindsay Wyrick with The Frugal Crafter. And we've kind of interacted with each other a bit over the years. Like, we'll leave comments on each other's videos. And she left a really nice, like very insightful comment on one of the Cricut videos back in the day. And then she left a really high quality comment on the influencer marketing live stream, just about what she was seeing with a lot of YouTube content and just how it was being affected by the content being sponsored or gifted to the person, or like the lack of, you know, affiliate disclosures or the lack of sponsorship disclosures. And that is something that we both have been kind of seeing lately. So I actually reached out to Lindsay via email because I was like, you know what? She always leaves very insightful, quality comments, and she seems like a really cool person. So I've checked out her channel before, and Lindsay does a lot of crafty, like, art content. She does, like, card making, you know, sketching, painting. She has a lot of different media she works with. And one thing I appreciate about Lindsay's content is when she does reviews, she takes them very seriously, and they're very, these are legit reviews. So she is, I really respect her high level of ethics and how she conducts herself as a content creator. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, would you be interested in maybe taping a conversation delving more into some of the issues with money and content creation and how it affects, how money kind of shapes content and that sort of thing. So she's like, sure. So we ended up taping it on Friday. And then we also taped a separate conversation on her channel. And she was sort of interviewing me about making a living as a creative and content creation. So, oh, thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought Lindsay's awesome. And I really appreciate her perspective and all of her contributions to the creative community, because I think she has a lot of really great, she always has a really interesting perspective. Yes, Somi1 Kenobi, we did kind of already discuss Joann's, but yeah, you can this is sort of like a DVR, so you can kind of go back, or you can like watch it live and then watch the first part afterwards, so kind of whatever you want to do. Alright, started watching but didn't have a chance to finish the video, but it was an awesome interview so far. Yes, great. Yeah, Lindsay's really cool, and I'm glad I got to know her a little bit better, because she's really a very, very awesome person. So so it is a video. It's not a live stream, but it's a video here on the channel, and I uploaded it. We wanted to upload our videos at the same time. So this is, here, I'll bring up Lindsay's channel here. And Lindsay has like a massive channel. Lindsay is doing awesome. So Lindsay is the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay Wyrick. And here's the video we did together. It's called Art Chat, How to Make a Living as a Creative with Jen from the Sewing Report. So if you'd like to check that out, we had a really great conversation. Just kind of talking more about our experiences. We talked about making money as like an artist or a crafty person, like how you can generate income from it or make a living as an artist or as a creative. And we talked about YouTube specifically, just some of the things we've run into as YouTube content creators. It was a really fun conversation. We actually, I do think it's helpful for anyone who is thinking about maybe doing social media or doing content creation, but you have some questions about the money or, how all of it works. So it was a really great conversation. So I'm really glad. And yeah, she has about 573,000 subscribers. She has 3,400. She has way more videos than I do. She has 3,400 videos. And she also teaches classes. So I think she's super cool. And I'm actually kind of tempted to sign up for some of her classes, because she makes it look so easy and fun. Like, she does watercolors. She does card making. She does her latest classes about colored pencils. And she interviews other people from the crafting community. So really fun. But when Lindsay does a review, she does a review. Like, she really goes to great lengths to thoroughly test out products. She also will speak to the value of the item and whether or like the quality of it. So I've watched quite a few of her videos. She does a chat every Saturday called Sat Chat, where it's kind of like more stream of consciousness stuff, and they're really fun conversations. But thank you, Lindsay, for the collaboration. I had a great time, and it was really fun getting to know you. And I also wanted to, I cut out an excerpt from the conversation on the Sewing Report Live channel. So I want to play this for you. So we were talking, this is kind of delving more into the whole influencer marketing sphere. So I want to share with you this. This is sort of a preview clip of the video here on the Sewing Report Live channel about crafting. The video is called Crafting Cash, Money's Impact on Content. So all right, I'm going to play this right here for you. That's the thing, when the whole Cricut thing happened, again, these Cricut influencers didn't say zip, and I get it, they're getting paid by Cricut.
Those affiliates make huge amounts of money. Small channels, yeah. I know a small Cricut small channel in the scope of channels, making $250,000 a year, and it was mostly Cricut affiliate money. Wow. So that's why, they would be foolish to bite the hand that feeds them. And Mr. Connie, that kind of money for promoting Cricut products, of course they're quiet about it. And when you have one company that dominates the craft stores and even department stores like Cricut does, it's kind of low-hanging fruit. So it's so easy for people to just go and buy a cheap machine, because I remember when they used to be made well. I have 2 Cricut machines back from the first, off the factory floor.
Me too. I had a 2009 Cricut Expression.
Yeah, it was heavy. Everything was metal. Yeah. Everything is, it's still cutting, but I use a SureCut slot software, so I don't use any Cricut products with it anymore. But and I still use it as my digital plotter. Anytime I'm designing something, I use my Scal software and I cut it. That machine was good. The old machines were great, but then they cut corners. They made these plastic innards. Like the blade housing was plastic in their newer models. You pick them up, they're light, like sewing machines, like the junky sewing machines that cost $100 at the department store that will get you through enough curtains to put in your house. And after that, it's not going to sew and thread's going to bunch up and stuff. Same thing with those machines. And, but they were cheap enough that everybody could get their hands on them. And then I know that's privileged to say $100, $200 for a machine isn't cheap for a lot of people, especially for a hobby, but just comparatively to the, $600 and $700 you would pay for a professional or low-end professional plotter. So then they got the machines, so they got to buy the stuff to go with it. And there was just so much money to be made. Yeah. And when they started suing all the companies that were making software, they could cut with their machines, which was open. Their machines were based on open source software. So anybody could use that open source code to create products to go with it. And then they started bullying all these smaller software developers. And that was the end of me using Cricut products, because they shut them down. They weren't doing anything wrong. They weren't stealing their IP. They weren't stealing their designs. SureCut's lot wasn't anyways. I don't know about Make the Cut or any of the other brands, but they were just, so you could cut your fonts, just like you could print anything with your printer, you could cut anything with your cutter. And that just really left a bad taste in my mouth.
All right, so if you are intrigued by that little clip, I would encourage you, after this live stream, check out the conversations between myself and Lindsay from The Frugal Crafter. Both are linked in the description box. There is one on this channel, and then there is one on Lindsay's channel. We wanted to do slightly different topics so they weren't the same, but we had a really great time. And yeah, Lisa, Lindsay has integrity. That's why her channel is so successful, just like you, Jen. Yeah, and it's really refreshing. Lindsay's integrity level is extremely high. I really have a lot of respect for her. I think she's doing everything right. And she's very much herself. Like, her channel is extremely authentic. And I can see why she has been able to grow such a large audience. And she continues to maintain the trust level as an influencer in the crafting space. So thank you, Lindsay from The Frugal Crafter. I had a wonderful time. And yeah, I thought she was awesome, and I'm really glad we finally got to sort of meet and chat. She was really, really, really lovely person. Yes, thank you, Thimble, Hook, and Shuttle. Yeah, the interview was really, I thought it went really well. And then the conversation on her channel, I feel like I did say, now I will fully admit, when I'm doing stuff like this and it's not edited or not, heavily edited, I do tend to use the crutch words like and way too much. So I'm a little bit self-critical. I'm like, oh, I do that. So that is something I've noticed about myself. Will I be able to fix it? I don't know. But that is something I'm just like, I was watching it back. I was like, how many times did I say like and I don't. Those are definitely my crutch words. But it's hard when you're doing anything live or like unscripted. It's it's challenging, and especially when you are talking for long periods of time, you tend to use a lot of those filler words. But yeah, it's really funny because it's so evident watching it back. I was like cringing. I was like, how many times did I say like it's a little bit embarrassing, but it is what it is, and that's just me. So if people don't like it, they don't like it, but I don't know. So, but it was I thought they were both really worth watching. If you have an interest in making money from your creativity or content creation on her channel and then on our channel, if you're just curious to know how the money affects content, because I do think it's important to let people know, how getting something for free might impact the content, how a sponsored video might change the content. Like, it definitely has an impact on the content, no matter what people say. Like, it absolutely does. And I think transparency is really key so that people can trust you. I think that's super important. And I'm just seeing a lot of stuff floating around lately in the content world that I'm like, I'm kind of side-eyeing, I know, I said again. I don't know. All right, I'm going to get some water real quick. So I want to talk about Etsy for a little bit. There's been a few developments with the platform. Now, I'm obviously an Etsy seller, and I wouldn't say I'm like expert level with all of these issues, but I do want to kind of touch on some of these things because there's a lot about, I'm not really sure what Etsy's doing these days, but some of their business moves have been a little bit like puzzling to me. I don't know what you think. Oh, and let's put up the banner right now. Okay. Put up the sortimportant.etsy.com banner. I forgot about that. But I want to talk about Etsy. So Etsy released some announcements this week about the gift mode. Now, we've talked about the gift mode before, and I'm not really sure what I think about this. So it's like 3 exciting updates to gifting on Etsy. I'm like, so I want to know, is anyone actually using gift mode? Like, is this a feature people want? I'm a little bit skeptical of this. So there's a blog post from community manager Fido's Flowers. This year is all about gifting on Etsy, and we're excited to share all the progress we've made since introducing gift mode during the big game in February. That's the Super Bowl. They did a Super Bowl ad about gift mode. And basically, gift mode is like AI picking out gift suggestions. I'm not really sure how this is groundbreaking. I don't know. Over the past few months, our team has been working to expand gift mode to even more shoppers. We've also introduced tons of new gifting-focused features, including gift teasers, so even last-minute shoppers can find great gifts on Etsy. Gift teasers give shoppers the option to instantly send a digital preview of the gift directly to the recipient, or they can schedule the delivery for a specific date and keep the gift a surprise. Since we introduced them in January, buyers have shared more than 200,000 teasers via email. Like, have you done this? I didn't even know that was an option. Soon, shoppers will be able to add a video message to their gift teaser so it feels even more special for the recipient. Even more exciting, this week we'll launch a new television campaign in the United States and United Kingdom, highlighting how buyers can use gift teasers to send thoughtful gifts at the last minute. Watch the new ad here. I'm like, oh great, they're spending more of our fee money on buying like airtime. Okay. It also says, and last but not least, gift mode is now available across the globe. That means even more shoppers can browse gifts and discover something just right crafted or curated by Etsy sellers like you. Head to the Seller Handbook to get more details about the work we're doing to make Etsy the destination for gift-seeking shoppers, and to learn more about the new ad. All right, let's check out the ad. Let's see what's shaking with this. I'm a little bit curious myself here. Hopefully the audio is not super crazy.
Oh no. What if we don't get down in time to get a birthday gift for Zoe?
Oh,
Don't panic. With Etsy, we can find the perfect gift.
All right, how much
And
did
send
they
her a
spend
preview
on
right
this
away.
stupid commercial?
I love this. Thanks, guys. Ooh, that's a relief.
It sure is great to know when something's coming.
Don't panic. Gift easy with Etsy.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I thought this ad was kind of dumb. That's like the first time I've seen it. I thought that ad was, it didn't do it for me. So my issue with the ad and a lot of their advertising that they've been doing lately is that it doesn't, like, I want to see what kind of cool stuff you can buy on Etsy. I don't want to see some random people in a roller coaster talking about gift stuff. And the same thing with their Super Bowl ad with, like, the whole, like, United States, France, you know, whatever it was. I think they really need to highlight a couple things. They need to highlight handmade sellers, and they need to put a spotlight on some of the cool, like, the best items on the platform. That ad didn't do any of those things, and they probably dropped a lot of money on producing it and then for all of the airtime. I just don't know how this is. I honestly am not convinced that's going to get more people to shop on Etsy. The people who shop, like, people already know what Etsy is. Why not highlight the best stuff that's on the platform? If you're going to spend money on airtime, Etsy has all kinds of cool stuff. Again, they do have a large issue with weird resellers and drop shipping and all the print on demand, very generic stuff. But they do still have a lot of truly handmade sellers who are making really cool shit. And I think they need to, instead of doing that dumb roller coaster ad, they need to do stuff that highlights the best stuff, the coolest stuff on the platform. Custom, like the fact that you can get custom made things, the fact that you can get artisan level stuff. Like, there are some really cool things on Etsy, and the ads they've been doing have not accomplished that at all. And I think that's one way they could stand out from all of the other ads. People see ads all the time. That does nothing for me. Another thing that bothers me is that they've been hiring all of these, like, celebrity spokespeople like Drew Barrymore. Again, no shade to Drew Barrymore, but instead of paying celebrities boatloads of money, why not highlight some cool seller stories, some cool handmade sellers, shop owners into these ads? I would rather see them promoting the company than Drew Barrymore, who doesn't really craft. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think she really crafts. So that's sort of where I'm seeing a disconnect between Etsy's marketing strategy and what I think they should be doing. I'm just like, I don't even know what that was. Like, yeah. And Etsy did release I linked this in the description box. Etsy did release their Q1 financial results. So let's check this out. So you can check this out for yourself if you'd like. It is linked in the description box. Let's kind of blow this up a little bit. But Etsy, I believe sales are down a bit because people just aren't shopping, buying on Etsy is more of a luxury. And with the price of everything going through the roof, people are more worried about buying food than they are custom gifts. So I do think Etsy needs to do more to cater to like the higher end client, but just point out what makes Etsy unique and point out some of the really cool stuff on Etsy. So here is the report. And I did watch some live streams or videos of some Etsy people talking about the earnings call and like, just what was said between the management team and the, like, look at these people, like, Cody, Carrie, Olivia. Why not highlight these people? Like, push the keep commerce human thing and highlight some of these people in the ads instead of Drew Barrymore and those random people on the roller coaster. Let's see Olivia making some stuff. Let's see Carrie making, I know she makes scarves. Like, let's see some of those people. So it seems like they're trying to push more people to use the app. And from what I've been gathering, Etsy is really trying to crack down on the not handmade shops that are breaking the rules. And I do think that's one reason why they put into place the $15 fee in order to open a shop. I think they're trying to dissuade the very low effort or scam shops from popping up. So I think that's a positive. Trying to dissuade the scammers and all of the like dropship businesses from doing that, which I think is good. Now I did link, so here's the thing I have noticed. So I will occasionally watch like the Etsy, like the Etsy gurus. There are a few Etsy gurus on YouTube that will talk about like the Etsy, what's going latest with Etsy. And I've consumed a little bit of the content just to see what's going on and to make sure that I'm, in the know about the platform. But here's sort of where I have, so I've linked one live stream down in the description box. It's a live stream Kara Bunton did about the Q1 news, and she kind of goes into what happened with the call with investors, and she has a little bit of insight. The problem I run into with some of these Etsy, because I'm a little bit hesitant to promote the Etsy gurus, and here's why. I think a lot of them do have some helpful information available for free on social media, like on YouTube and whatnot. All of them, I have not been able to find an Etsy, and I wouldn't even use the word expert because no one's really I don't really think there's no such thing as a social media expert. I don't think there's really anything as like an Etsy expert. The thing I run into is that every single person that does Etsy related content is selling pretty expensive courses and coaching, and I'm pretty hesitant to promote someone that sells that. And I because I have not been able to vet any of that type of thing, and I'm really not into that type of thing. Again, people can do whatever they want. Would I pay for Etsy coaching or courses? No, I would not. I will consume free content. And again, I've had my Etsy shop for about 3-4 years. I have not paid for any Etsy coaching or Etsy courses or Etsy help. I paid a CPA, an accountant, to help me with my books and business structure. But I just find a lot of the Etsy, it's a little bit tough with all of the Etsy gurus out there. There's like more popping up all the time. And I find it's a little bit hard to, obviously, if someone's selling like $1,000 or more course, I have a little bit of a hard time. Obviously, they're going to be pretty biased in the content they make. And while I think some of them do have helpful information from time to time, I don't take what they say as like gospel, because you see all of these Etsy people saying like different things, and it does, I do feel a certain way about the fact that pretty much all of these Etsy content creators are selling very expensive coaching and or courses. And here's the thing, anytime you see somebody selling a product about like how to make money, I'm a bit suspicious. That being said, though, I've been consuming this content for a while, and I would say that I do find Cara Bunton's channel to be helpful. She's not overly salesy. That being said, though, I cannot vouch for any of the paid content. I only consume her free content, but I did link her video on the Q1 earnings below in the description box. If you would like to get more information and get a more in-depth resource on that stuff. Again, I do not claim, I have a pretty small Etsy shop. One thing I did notice about Cara is she has been on Etsy for over 10 years. She sells a physical product. She doesn't sell like the print on demand stuff. She is like a cake baker. So again, I really don't know her. She did kind of recommend one of my past videos to her audience about Etsy bookkeeping. I do think her content, I've consumed enough of her content to be able to, kind of discern that she does not push like the get rich quick thing with Etsy, and she does tend to be pretty realistic with the expectations, and she does not try to, from what I can tell, she does not exaggerate what Etsy is. So if you do want to watch somebody's take on the Q1 earnings and what's going on with Etsy, I did link her latest live stream below in the description box. But again, I would say that I cannot in good conscience recommend you pay for Etsy help. I would say, if you're going to look at something, look at the Etsy Seller Handbook, which is free and available on Etsy. And it provides a lot of information about how to be successful on the platform. Consume people's free content all day long, but I'm a bit hesitant to promote to you anything that's any type of paid content that's about making money. Now, I think it's a little bit different. Like Lindsay Wyrick, she sells courses. She does sell courses, but it's on how to learn a skill, like how to paint, how to do watercolors. And I do think that's a bit different. But I'm personally very skeptical about any type of content that's about making money. And you see these videos all over the place, like how to earn $50,000 off of one product, or Etsy trends that will make you thousands of dollars, or six-figure Etsy business. And I've been doing Etsy for several years, and my shop about breaks even. So again, I'm not going to tout myself as like an Etsy success. I'm not making boatloads of money with Etsy. I'm not making anywhere near six figures with Etsy. I have grossed about $21,000 in total sales in several years. I do this as like a side thing. That being said, though, I'm just finding a lot of Etsy type content creators out there who are selling very expensive coaching and courses, and I would warn you to be very skeptical of this. Again, consume the free content, but the thing is, like, I don't know. So I'm just seeing that a lot of places. I would just tell you to be do your research, try to vet these things as much as you can, and also know that results are not guaranteed. Like if you pay for $1,000 course or a $5,000 course, it still does not really doesn't guarantee you anything. So, but yeah, so that's kind of my take on the Etsy stuff. All right, let's check out some of the comments here. All right, I don't love videos that are basically one long ad. Yeah, me either. I hear you about the crutch words. I did an interview for NPR once that got transcribed into a written article, and they left in one of my, like, pause. Yeah, it is funny to see if you get your words transcribed, how strange it looks. Yeah. Sometimes those gift teaser type emails trigger spam filters. I've sent something similar to relatives, not Etsy, and they had to dig them out of the spam. Sorry guys, I had to cough real quick. How does she not drop her phone? Okay, you're referring to the Etsy ad. That was shot right side up. The hair is being held up with string, looks like. Okay, so I guess like a... Alright, production trick there. Gift mode and AI picking out gifts. That's a no for me. Kind of weird. So impersonal. Yeah, that ad was just... I don't know whose idea that was, but it was not... Yeah, that was not great. As we've gotten older and budgets tighter, my family has stepped back from buying gifts at all. And that's, a lot of families are doing that. Like, they're doing low to no buy Christmases. Like, you're, you know, doing a card, maybe go out to eat. But, like, nobody needs to do all that gifts. You know, like, I feel like gifts are, it's becoming, like, too much. I want them to explain how that ad is relatable and it's not memorable. Yeah. It's really not memorable at all. Has Etsy cracked down on cheap imports being passed off as artisan goods? So from what I gathered from watching some of these Etsy people, it does look like Etsy is shutting down shops who break the rules, which would be resellers or the people selling like AliExpress or Alibaba stuff or stuff for like from Temu or whatever. So it does look like Etsy is, it looks like Etsy is apparently Etsy is using AI tools to detect and shut down more of these shops. But it's also getting some false positives. But that's kind of being done in the name of trying to clean up the platform. Because apparently the investors are concerned about Etsy getting pretty much overran by all of the problematic shops. And like the low effort shop. You know what I'm talking about here. Jen, so right on for Etsy. Get back to the roots. But I think that cat is out of the bag. And there's no going back. Just like Joann, look at who is running the show. Hey, it's okay if you're late. Jules T was watching the New York Rangers win. Cheers to all. One problem I see is fast fashion, which is made cheaply and not intended to last. We've been accustomed to quality cheap fabrics. Not sure if young sewists are up to paying for quality fabrics. That's a really good point because it's probably going to be some sticker shock when a 20-year-old who's interested in sewing goes to buy fabric and realizes the fabric is much more expensive than the whole shirt from Forever 21. So that is a good point. And maybe there's something we could do with the education as to why paying more for fabric and making the item yourself is better overall than purchasing the fast fashion. But yeah, like if it's just based on numbers, it's cheaper just to get the thing from Forever 21. AI picked and hyped gifts. AI generated thank you notes. Where is the personal connection? Yeah, I don't know. Beats me, Denise. Beats me. All right, Stacy, 100%. I remember when good cotton and linen were reasonably priced. Now these fabrics are considered a luxury. Yeah. Mentally debating in my head whether I ought to refurbish my Etsy or not. Really listening here. You know, Verna, it does seem like Etsy is really trying to kind of get rid of a lot of the shops that shouldn't be there. I would say, like, you know, give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? You might as well give it a try, right? Jen, do you think Joann's will make it through the 2024 fall season? Only because I love their fall floral and decor, in my opinion. I mean, I don't see any reason why Joann would totally go out of business this year. Like, it's such a lot, and it could be the thing where they, maybe, we just don't know. But I don't really see any reason as to why it would just close outright. in the next few months. I really don't. It seems like they got some more money from investors. They were able to offload half of their debt. I mean, I think they need to make some changes for sure, but I don't see any reason why Joann's wouldn't be here in the near future. I smell a scam whenever people pitch make $1 million overnight. And that's the thing, like, I'm seeing that everywhere. And, you know, I'm going to be real. Whenever I see someone creating content on social media or online, and they're selling an expensive course or expensive coaching, I'm just immediately distrustful, no matter who it is. I just, especially when it's something about making money. Now, if it's a course to, like, become a real estate agent or get, like, a certification, like, I actually did pay for a course in getting certified to fly a drone, which, sad thing, me and my husband didn't complete it. But, like, I think for things like that, I don't see any problem with paying for help. Or, like, paying to learn, paying for a sewing class or paying for a painting class. But the thing that I do tend to be very skeptical of is courses and coaching on how to make money, especially when they seem to be really pushing large, like they're throwing out large dollar figures. That's when I'm like, I don't know. And that's why I decided to share the Cara Bunton stream, because even though she does have courses and that sort of thing, she at least doesn't throw out, like, weirdly large dollar figures. And from what I've seen from her content, she seems a little bit more realistic with managing the expectations and not trying to make it look like it's real easy. So that's why I decided to link her live stream. That being said, I have not vetted any of these people. I don't know them, and I've not paid for any of their paywall material, so I can't tell you I can't tell you how it is. I've seen, and there's a few Etsy gurus, I've seen some very negative things on Reddit about their like super expensive, mega expensive courses. And I would say if you're trying to do Etsy or anything, like if you're trying to be a YouTuber, like I also wouldn't pay for an expensive course for that either. I would say consume free resources for as long as you can, because I think for most of you, it's not going to be worthwhile paying for expensive courses or coaching when you're just getting started with something. For most things, especially if it's anything about making money. Just my opinion, maybe an unpopular one, I don't know. I don't know. All right, so I do want to get to this as well. On the flip side of things, Michael's Craft Stores is moving in. They're making some moves here, and I want to share this with you because I think this is pretty interesting. So Michael's is doing more in-person classes and events, and I saw this. They're doing online and in-person events for kids this summer. So I was taking a look at this, and I actually think this is a pretty good idea for Michael's. It's called Camp Creatology. If you do have kids or grandkids, this might be a good thing. So I was checking this out. It's called Camp Creatology Kids Club, 4 weeks of creative summer fun from June 17th to July 12th for kids 6 and up. Now, I wasn't able to, they don't have like the courses and stuff available yet, but I was checking this out. So you can either do it in the store or you can do it at home. So it says join the fun in store, sign up today, just $5 per class with all supplies included. That's a really good price. But then you can also you can do Zoom classes instead. So they did post, these are the Zoom classes. This is like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So obviously if you're doing it at home, you're going to have to get your own supplies. They have activity pages and class materials you can download. I actually think this is pretty cool. And these look cool for kids. So these are the Zoom classes. And here, I'll kind of click on one. This is a tie-dye bandana. So this is free, 60 minutes. It's a Zoom meeting. And it's got the instructor. And it kind of has everything it kind of has all like a class supplies. And I thought this was interesting because they have like a list and it's like add to cart right here. So you can order the stuff ahead of time. So you can order the supplies, have it ready, and then do the Zoom class. And again, I think this is cool. So like it's a class, so you're getting free instruction. If you're doing it at home, you have to buy supplies. If you do it in the store, you get the supplies included. And I was checking that out as well. So they don't have the classes listed in store yet. But then when I was looking at the in-store experiences for one store location, and I noticed so they don't have the summer camp classes up yet, but they have a bunch of kids classes listed before that time period, and these are all free, with all of the supplies included. So they have a bunch of different classes, and they're about 2 hours. And this is at like a Tampa store. So they've got like Kangaroo Mother's Day card, summer tie-dye, friendship bracelets, Andy Warhol inspired pop art, painted rocks, butterfly wreaths. These are all in-store events. They're about 2 hours each. And then when you click on them, all right, okay. You can see, all right, so this is for ages 4 and up. You can register here, and these classes are free. So if you're looking for some free things to do with kids, I think this looks really cool. Free with all supplies included. So it says Michael's teacher. Maybe this is some of those job listings we were looking at on the careers page. Okay, free classes not, so you do, all right. Although if it's free, like, and you don't show up, I guess there's not much you can do. Free classes not eligible for cancellation. I guess they're free. So you can register here now and you can check out. It all varies by store. So you do have to go to your particular store and look up what in-store events they have. But I think this is a really interesting thing because imagine this. The kid is in the class for 2 hours. What's the parent or the guardian going to do? Like the grandma, grandpa, they might be, they got 2 hours. They can look around and shop at Michael's. So I do think this is a very clever way to get people, again, just to get people in the store. They're already there. Maybe after the class ends, the kid wants to pick out some more craft supplies at Michael's. And these are free. So I imagine this would attract a decent amount of people because it's free. Hopefully they market this well. And they don't have the summer. This store doesn't have the summer. They don't seem to have the summer camp stuff up yet. But I'll kind of be checking back in to see if they do, because those are supposed to be $5. I don't know how long they are, but all of the supplies are included. So if you're looking for something for the kids to do, this looks cool. I think and I actually like the photos they have of all the items. Friendship bracelets. I like the Mother's Day cards. You can make mom a Mother's Day card. I think that's cute. But all free, all the supplies are included. And I imagine this doesn't cost Michael's that much money. And they're getting people into the store, and they're getting the kids interested in crafts. So I actually would like to see more of this type of thing from, maybe Joann's could do that, have free beginner sewing classes. And just get people to learn to sew. Like, that would be pretty cool. But what do you guys think about this? I actually like this. And I think it's smart. Like, I really do. And again, 2 hours, the parent they could shop at Michael's. Usually Michael's are in like a shopping plaza. You could check out, you could get some stuff done. The kids are having fun. They're meeting other kids. And this is all, like, these classes are all free. So I think the camp starts... All right, June 17th, but so these don't appear to be the summer camp stuff. So it looks like they have not added the summer camp stuff to the in-store experiences, but the summer camp stuff is already available to see if you're doing the virtual classes. So I actually think these look cool. All right, like roller skates, salt painting, and yeah, check it out. So you can register. These are about an hour long. And then they have the supply list of all the stuff you need. And look how easy it is to add to cart. I think this is pretty smart. I like this. I think this is a good idea. And hopefully this can help Michaels get younger people interested in crafting and get more people into the store. All right, let's see what you guys think here. All right, yeah, Carol, when the sellers say for a limited time only or this ad will be taken down soon, beware. I would agree with that. I heard of an Etsy guru who has a $5,000 course. No way. I know who you're talking about, and I would look up reviews of this person because a lot of people are very upset about who've taken the course. I've also heard this particular guru is very litigious, and if anyone says anything publicly negative about this person, apparently they've been getting lawsuit threats from a lawyer or like threatening letters. So I'm not going to name this person at all, but apparently, apparently this person will go after anyone who says anything negative about them online. But yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about there. Are the classes interactive? I'm not a fan of the Zoom platform for creative stuff if it's not interactive. Other platforms offer better video quality. I am not sure, Rachel. But hey, I mean, it's free, so yeah, I don't know. Or if it's like just a teacher, or if maybe you can talk to the teacher. I'm not really sure. I know of one of my local quilt shops offers kids camp sewing classes for a few weeks in the summer. That's awesome. Are the parents going to be allowed to leave their child unattended? That would have been a non-issue when I was that age. Maybe not age 4 to 6, but a little older. These days, not so much. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask. I would maybe ask Michaels. But I imagine the parents, probably some of them could stay. Some of them could go. I don't know. Yeah, I heard the same thing. I won't mention. Yeah, don't mention them. I know who you're talking about. I've read some really crazy things on Reddit. But yeah, I've heard that if you mention anything remotely negative about this individual, that they will like send their lawyers after you. So I don't really want to go there because I don't want to deal with any legal stuff here, but I know what you're talking about. Joann should offer classes in inspo. We can really buy supplies anywhere. That's true. That is true. I'm going to cough real quick. Hold on a second. Sorry guys, sometimes I just get I get some frogs in my throat especially if I'm doing longer streams and it just starts to yeah. So I just had to take a quick break to cough here. And if you are here, I really appreciate everyone watching. If you found this video, this live stream fun, you enjoyed it, you got something out of it, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit the like button, and if you want to subscribe. We do this every Sunday. We have fun, we chat, and we get into what's going on in the sewing world. So if that's something you're into, like and subscribe to Sewing Report Live. I also have just regular, straight up sewing, crafting, and embroidery videos over on the Sewing Report main channel. This channel is more for community and industry news and a little bit more of a casual thing. So, but the Sewing Report main channel is more for just sewing tutorials, how to use a sewing machine, and that type of thing. This is kind of a different experience here. When I was a kid, Michaels used to offer make and take kids crafts on Saturday morning for $5. Parents could shop while the kids made a craft. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're bringing it back. I think it's a good idea. And Michaels is doing the kids parties and the adult parties. So it seems like they are making an effort. I think they're trying to move in more on the Joann's territory here to try to capture some of those people who are interested in crafting to get them in the store. So I think it's a good idea. And again, I do want to give one more shout out here to tonight's live stream sponsor, which is the Sewing Report Etsy shop. That's at sewingreport.etsy.com. I am an independent content creator, and just due to the nature of the content I do, criticizing industry stuff, talking about various companies, it's a bit hard to monetize, so I am sponsoring my own live stream. So you can find fabric, sewing supplies, and handmade items here at the Sewing Report Etsy shop. I do free shipping over $35 or more orders, and I do ship within the United States only. I've got some fabric bundles, different types of thread, needle packs. We've got sew tights, magnetic sewing, pin cushions, and magnetic pins. Lots of cool stuff. I've got some really awesome sew-in woven labels that I haven't gotten a chance to use yet, but I'm really excited about because they are so darn cute. I've got my new Wonder Grip and Thimble 2-in-1 tool that I will be using for hand sewing. So lots of different stuff here. I still got some Christmas fabric, which it actually is still super cute. So that half yard bundle is on sale. We've got the Wild Expedition flat fat stack bundle, really cool, like kind of safari themed stuff. We got glimmer solids. That's like, they're solid fabrics, but they've got glimmer threads woven in, so it's very shimmery fabric, very beautiful. So lots of different stuff in the Sewing Report Etsy shop here. I do have some purse scarves here. We've got Luxe Sparkle Vinyl that's good for, you can actually embroider on it. This has actually been a really good seller too. And it actually can be machine washed, and you can iron on the glitter vinyl and it doesn't damage it, which is pretty crazy. It's got some pins. We've got zipper tape, lots of different things. So if you've not checked out the Sewing Report Etsy shop yet, got lots of items in here, and I just replenished the inventory earlier today, so everything is up to date. But yeah, you guys have been awesome, and again, it's tough to do independent media here, especially because when you do any sponsored content or do anything with brands, they tend to want to get you to sign a non-disparagement clause so you can never say anything bad about the company ever. And I just can't do that, so I have pretty strict standards and parameters for working with brands, and most things just don't work for me. So, and again, I do want to encourage everyone, if you want something to watch after this, I would highly encourage you to check out my conversations with Lindsay Wyrick, the Frugal Crafter, who we have got one video on this channel, and then we've got another video on her channel. Links to everything we talked about tonight are in the description box of this video if you want to check that out. But I hope everyone has a great week ahead. This has been really fun. We always have a good time here. We chat, we laugh, we talk. I talk and tell you about my food poisoning. Always a good time here. Joann's offered classes before the pandemic. The instructors were paid in commission per student. It was awful. Classes had conflicting schedules. The classrooms were located in the supply closets. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, that's not gonna go well. I cannot see that going well. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a great week ahead. I'm gonna take off for the evening. I will, and by the way, if you want to watch some clips later, I do cut up highlight clips from all the streams and upload them later. Anyways, I am Jen. Okay, K-Drama Corner, I actually have made no progress with Wedding Impossible, so I might do that next week. I just haven't made any progress on that show, so there's really, unfortunately, nothing to report back. But I appreciate you keeping me honest here about the K. I'm glad somebody enjoyed. Usually when I talk about K-dramas, the viewership just drops off, so I'm very glad that somebody at least enjoys K-Drama Corner. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great week. I'm going to sign off for the evening. I'm Jen with Sewing Report Live. You've been watching another fun show. Catch me again here next Sunday at 6 p.m. where we will do this again and go over news and whatever's happening for the week, but I will see you guys again next time. And remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.